Oh, good hits there actually, onto the YPR. Well, those aren't going to stand a chance. That's an entire company of T-55s just ripping through those mechanized forces. Hello guys, and welcome to a new Regiments video today by me, Vulcan. In this one, I wanted to take a look at the last of the factions that I haven't covered yet, and that is the Czechoslovakians. I'm going to be playing the 63rd Modostraki, which gives us access to OT-65s. We've got the T-55 tanks, we've got OT-62s with Strelci, and they come in with a company. We've got OT-62s with Strelci and AT. We've got Genista. There's also going to be Gvozdika, the VZ-5359, which we'll see if we can get some good use of against enemy helicopters and aircraft. So it should be good fun. I've set ourselves up against some of the Dutch forces, the new Dutch forces in the game, the 12th Panzer Infantry Brigade in this case, which is the Leopard 1Vs. We've got YPRs with infantries and HGMs. They've got the Pratt, the M109A3, and then YPRs, which bring in manpad squads. They've also got an F-16A air patrol, which could be kind of interesting as well. For our air supports, we don't have any yet, but I guess we can get some later on using our task forces. So it'll be interesting to see how those F-16s do. Maybe we could bring in our own MiG-29 air patrol. That could be pretty cool. All right, we're going to go high lethality, random with hardest difficulty, of course. Let's jump on in. So the Czechoslovakian units, they are certainly using somewhat older equipment. These OT-62Bs, kind of interesting. They do have like a machine gun, and I believe they have like a recoilless on them as well. So they can take on enemy sort of light armored vehicles relatively well, but they will of course struggle massively against heavier targets. All right, let's see where we are spawning. This could be a pretty difficult map for us on the right hand side. I think in close combat we'll be absolutely fine, but on the right here out in the open it's going to be quite difficult because the T-55s might not match up quite the way we want them to. Let's bring up maybe the Strelci with AT. We do get a lot of men. Look at that. Wow. That is a lot of men. I'll bring in some Genista to just like push into the center. And we'll have the AT unit move to the right here. Use that forest there for cover. We'll have the T-55s probably go to Volga. Then we'll need probably maybe some AA. We can bring that in to just capture the back sector anyway. These OTs don't have any like ammunition or any weapons, I should say. But we will bring them in just to move forwards with us and provide us with that recon information. Otherwise, I'm thinking mortars and I'm thinking Malyutkas. Malyutkas actually going to be super important here. All right, off we go. Our ragtag of forces here. Look at those Czech twin 20 mils. Very nice indeed. Then we've got those Malyutkas, which should be really handy. We've got the company of T-55s here. And then those OTs carrying a lot of infantry. When they unload, I'll zoom in on those again and see exactly how many it is. Because this is the sort of number you're used to with this game. And the Genista coming in with these OTs, getting like 20 men. But this is like 40 plus. This little recon unit zooming ahead. I'll keep the Malyutkas with them. Let's get those OT-62s with mortars to come up here and just unload near that building. We'll let the T-55s get into attack formation. The Strelci can start unloading. That is a lot of dudes. Absolute swarm of them coming out of those OT-62s. We got into a pretty good position here early on. Let's move the OT-65 to the edge a bit more. Okay. Well, we bumped into the enemy. Hopefully my Malyukas can hit the mark, because these leopard 1Bs will kill them pretty quickly, but so will my Malyukas. Yep, nice. We managed to win that engagement. Let's fall back the Malyukas, because they took quite a lot of damage already. I'm going to bring up the Gvozdika. Now the Gvozdika, they can be used for helping with these territorials. Looks like the territorial rifles are in position there on defense. So we'll hit them with mortar fire, we'll hit them with the Gvozdika. What's the range on the weapon here of the Genista? 800 meters. Well, we can at least move up with the OT-62s and put some pressure on them. And on this right hand side, I'm also going to move up the OT-62s. We'll get the T-55s to move up towards Angara. And we'll get the Malyukas back in. Oh, good hits there actually, onto the YPR. Oh, those aren't going to stand a chance. That's an entire company of T-55s just ripping through those mechanized forces. A new task force available. Let's have a look at what we want to get. So a really nice artillery unit that the Czechoslovakians get is the Dana, which I do want to try out today. We've got the BMP 1s up here. They get Pruskomnisi, T-55 AM1s, more OT-64s with some man pads in there as well. Kubs could be pretty handy to have if they start investing quite heavily into aircraft. Got loads of T-72s that we could bring in. BMP-2s with Strelci. There's the Danas. RM-70s could be pretty fun to try out as well. Then we've got Mi-24s, Mi-2s, Mi-24s. There is Vysetkari that we could bring in. I think what I'm going to do is we'll go for the RM-70 with the Danas, and we can use the MiG-29 Air Patrol. And then I'll probably after that go for the Vysetkari. We'll try out their airborne troops, and then we'll go for just some heavy tanks most likely. Alright, so let's get the RM-70 out, and we'll just fire that away onto this area. And they go lobbing rockets into position. Get that Strelci unloaded, and we can just hold them in that position.
Zone captured.
Let's get the MiG-29 Air Patrol out. And we can maybe look at pushing forwards, although these guys retreated because the main unit got destroyed. That's a bit unfortunate. The VZ is still firing away. somewhat struggling here at the moment. We'll let those fall back. The 20 mils do sound really good. Right, let's get the mortars back in. Not sure if maybe I want to invest into the company of OT62B with the Streltsy. It's like Maljorkas versus Prats. These are like M113s with AT systems on top of them. See about firing some more of these rockets. We didn't actually end up capturing Angara, so we are getting quite a nice lead on conquest points here. Alright, 2 minutes 45 until next objectives. New task force in 1 minute 40. Let's go and get the OT62Bs out. That's 110 riflemen and 20 machine gunners that come in with these guys. That's crazy. So many guys. The air patrol's ready, but they haven't used anything, so my MiGs haven't come out to play. I'm gonna unload the mortars here and we'll allow them to just free fire. We'll send the T-55s to the mid. I'm actually going to send the OT-62s over to the left. That way the T-55s can take on the main force, whilst the OTs can push through the tree lines in order to capture Angara. Let's get the VZ-53 in. Loads of artillery coming down the Leopards. That's what we like to see. And as soon as the RMs finish firing, I'm actually going to tell them to leave. And we'll bring in the Danas. I'm going to do the same with the Gvozdika. We'll let them leave. Right, let's go for another air patrol. Out of this town, we do want to go into the attack formation. "50 seconds until new objectives." Nice, Streltsy dug in here. Did manage to take care of those Leopards. New task force available. Let's grab the Vizardkadi. As soon as our new objectives show up, we can have them fly into position. So the Pruskomnisi, they get RPGs, so nothing crazy. But the OT-65A Vidra that they get does have recoilless on it as well. Right, let's artillery strike this. I might heavy artillery that as well.
Zone lost.
Okay. I'm gonna go all the way for Davina back there. Wow, decimated that force. We want to get into range here with the AT onto the Leopard 1Bs. We'll annihilate them if we do. Alright, let's just have these land here. And we'll have to walk up with those. Get all of my infantry in here.
Zone capture.
Okay, nice. Good cap. push on to the unit over here. If any of their tanks get like heavier, we're gonna be in for a bad time. It looks like my unit on the right eventually got destroyed. We're brute forcing this like a lot more, and conquest wise I think we're doing better with the Czechoslovakians than we were with the French, but we're certainly taking more losses. Right, let's get the RM back in here, and as soon as we can we'll get the Dana. We're going to use the RM-70 to just hit the Leopard there, and this company might want to fall back because they're getting very low on men.
Zone captured.
Right, we'll let the OT-65 capture Tobel. Our fire support can head over to the left of Volga. We can have the OT-62 with the Sionista head up to Angara. And I guess we can just tell them to leave. Get the Danas in. Right, let's get the OT-62s with Restauraci. And these Pruskomnici, these are going to head over to the right here. So this is like a much smaller squad.
Zone captured.
Whereas this is a big old chunk of airborne forces. I'll make air patrol in the center of the map now. I'll bring down an artillery strike onto their artillery.
Zone captured.
We're actually losing Izora. Let's bring up our companies to go deal with that. So yeah, these are smaller squads, mainly because they're recon, I think. Sort of small recon forces, but they are still going to be pretty effective against enemy forces because that RPG still has 15
Zone captured.
heat damage. Let's have a look at these Danas, see how effective they are.
New task force available.
We'll have to close onto the Leopard ones to get the RPG-7B on target. New task force is now available, which will give us an anchor, as I do plan to bring up plenty of T-72. So we could bring up T-72Bs, or we could bring up T-72M1s. I think T-72Bs are the way to go. Have a better gun. Oh, this is actually a Soviet armored force, so we'll stick to the Czechoslovakian forces. Alright, we're nearly in range. Like, as soon as we actually get in range with the infantry, they're pretty effective. I'm going to move the Vizudkari across to help out there as well. I lost all of those, unfortunately. Oh, that last artillery shell hit the mark. Right on target. I'm going to take out those YPRs nice and quick. Let's do some heavy artillery here. And we'll do some heavy artillery back here. This is a really good set of objectives for us. We might actually be able to total dominate. Where is my aircraft? There they are. Cheeky bit of air interception. I'll move the Visitgari over to the left. Actually, we can just let the fire support unit move in there and cap that. Although, no, actually we will bring over the Visitgari. Just because their reinforcements are coming in from over here somewhere. I'm not going to be able to get close. We'll just have these OTs and head up to Divina. Alright, let's go again with the MiG-29 Air Patrol. So it doesn't look like we'll quite get total domination this time around,
Zone
but
captured.
certainly seems decent in the infantry department, the Czechoslovakians. I think these T-72M1s can certainly do a decent amount of damage too. 5% accurate gun with 15 AP, it's okay. Not going to deal well with mainline units though. Unfortunately this time around the Malyutkas didn't really last. Alright, let's get these infantry squads unloaded. We'll attack, move towards this objective. My infantry can retreat there. Can drop heavy artillery onto the infantry. At 53 seconds until new objectives.
Zone lost.
Crikey, their infantry absolutely obliterated me. But here comes my T-72s in abundance. I'm just going to push straight for Angara. We could have one stay back. Just to cap that. Those T-72M1s though, they are struggling. Oh, the objectives move back to the right-hand side. Well, the company is engaging. We've got some MiG interception going on. Cool air battle overhead. Alright, well, what I'm going to try and do is get these Visitgari all the way up to Divina on the top side there. We'll let the Pruskan need to capture Angara, and then we'll bring up some more stuff on the backside that can cap. Might just drive the Danas into Tobol. You can sell the RMs. Those T-72s no longer need to be there, so we'll just let them leave. We're going to end up landing right behind these territorials. I'm going to land on the other side of the trees. That way we're further away from their AT. Oh no! One of them got shot down. Machine gun did its work. Let's kill off those territorials. We'll move a Pushkamnitsi over here. I'm going to move one down here. We'll move into Divina and capture that.
Zone captured.
I'm actually quite a big fan of like the mass amounts of units that we have at our disposal. Get all the T-72s in. They did a fantastic job. They just came in and absolutely wrecked everything.
Zone captured.
So I haven't been like too impressed by the Danas. That OT company has been annihilated. Alright, let's have that fire support unit move up to Anise on the right, and Tajinista will capture that. Hopefully we'll have some aircraft coming in. The MiG-29s trying to help engage. I think these MiG-29 air patrols would be really good when you end up against enemy helicopters a lot. I think that's where we'll really see them come into their own. But the T-72s are arriving. The Danas are almost dead. We're going to drop so much heavy artillery here. I'm going to put some artillery further up here as well.
Zone
The
captured.
poor
Total domination achieved.
Dutch forces getting absolutely wrecked. Forced into a brutal engagement there to try and save the day. But not quite going to make it work. Total domination achieved eventually. And a big win.
Objective completed.
Very nice. So the KD in the end was actually much better than I expected overall. But when you look at the dead and wounded, it's very similar. So this is just like in terms of overall sort of individual vehicles lost, but in terms of like soldiers lost, it's pretty close. Yeah, so whilst this is a very effective group for being like relentlessly aggressive, I think the Czechoslovakians like struggle with their quality, and therefore you do have to rely on the numbers in order to make things work. But it's certainly viable and very, very fun. I really enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys did too. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.